Von J Media.
Welcome back to Ignyte Your podcast, where real talk meets real purpose. I'm your host, Austin T. Gullett. And each week, we break down powerful topics that help you tap into your story, challenge your thinking, and ignite your why. And I'm super excited to have this conversation today because it's one that's near and dear to my heart because I feel like I relate to it so much. And it's one thing that I still struggle with today, and it's something I'm still learning how to deal with today. So I will go out here and say this now. I am not an expert on this topic. I'm just speaking from real life experiences and what I've learned through my 29 years of life thus far. So this episode's for the ones out there who are always okay. The ones people don't check on because they just assume that you got it all together. This episode is for the strong ones, especially when being strong starts to hurt. Being strong is taxing. It's so tiring, and I don't even know how to begin to explain it. It's just exhausting because when you're constantly being strong, especially for other people, you tend to forget about yourself. And I've gone into 2026 saying my motto is putting myself first, regardless of what's going on in life. I always want to be that helper, that pleaser, that person that's there for everyone. But I'm learning that I can't be there for people if I'm not there for myself. So when you are that strong person and that strong friend for other people, you're dependable. People trust you. People expect you to show up because you're always there to just drop everything when crisis hits. And because of that, people often forget to ask you the most important question that you can ask someone. And it's 3 words. How are you? How are you goes a long way without even realizing it. And to be honest, when you ask someone, how are you? They might not tell you the full truth. Sometimes you got to read between the lines. If I say I'm fine, I'm not fine. If I say I'm all right, I'm doing okay. So when I ask people, how are you? I'm intentional. I'm like, how are you? Like, no, like really, like, how are you? Like deep down, like, how are you? Because I care. And sometimes when you care, you can care too much. And when I say that by caring too much, it's just not that it's a bad thing because you're there for people. But like I said, you forget the most important thing, and that's yourself. So like I've always been that person, even since high school. Since high school, like I can go back to 2012. Oh, I'm aging myself right there. But I can go back to any time in high school where my friends were going through it, whether it was drama with relationships, family issues. I remember multiple times where I've had friends that were going through shit at home and they'd call me and me and my parents would drop everything and go pick them up or just simply be there to answer the phone or text them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like that's just who I am. I am a servant leader. I love being able to help other people. And it's just, I don't know, like I've always been that person to be the first person to call in a crisis, being expected to kind of lead and care and calm people down. And there's like this guilty feeling of always having to answer when you're that strong person for someone. And when you realize, like, looking back, like, you rarely ever say, like, I can't right now. Like, it's hard. Like, you just want to drop everything and help people. But I think the biggest thing I've learned in all of this is that people don't lean on you because you're available. They lean on you because you're reliable. I'm going to say that again. People don't lean on you because you're available. They lean on you because you're reliable. And there's a hidden cost that comes to being that reliable, strong friend. You don't get to fully rest. You're always anticipating other people's needs. I kind of mentioned it earlier. You overthink and you think the worst of everything. And if I didn't say it, I said it in my head. But you just kind of anticipate being needed and being called on because you want to help and you want to be there for people. And I'm the type of person that thinks the worst of every situation. So it's like, I don't want to be, I don't want to let people down. I think that's the biggest thing is, and in life, you're going to do that. And I understand that. But I also want to be that friend that people can can rely on and count on. And it's a sticky situation. It's hard. It's a hard like fight. You're constantly battling with yourself because you know you need to take care of yourself, but you also want to take care of other people. So in doing so, you're not really understanding, but you're carrying emotional weight that isn't yours. Oh my gosh, Gabby, chill. Sorry, y'all. But like I said, like you're carrying emotional weight that isn't yours. And it starts to become unhealthy because you are not going to be able to solve everyone's problem. You're not a licensed therapist. And if you are, props to you. But I am not. I didn't go to school for that. And it's just sometimes you just get in this rut and you feel like you have to be on at all times. And it makes your bad days hard because you feel like you can't have bad days publicly because you don't want people to know that you're struggling because you have to try to be strong for other people. Oh, that was deep. You go through bad days, but people don't know because you're masking it all so you can stay strong for other people because they rely on you. But you're doing yourself a disservice because you got to be able to take care of yourself. So, yes, you're reliable, but you don't always have to be available. I'm going to say that again. You can be that reliable friend, but you don't always have to be available. Hard. I'm learning it myself, but I don't got it down. I, I feel like this is something that I just need to work with my therapist on, but it's hard. It is very, very hard, right? Because let's get real here, right? I'm the type of person that will mask my emotions, put on this fake ass smile, and walk around like everything is sunshine and rainbows. But deep down, like I do have bad days. I have hard days. There's plenty of times where like I go into my office at work and I just sit there in silence with like, that's because I just need a break. Mentally, I'm exhausted. Even at home, like sometimes I'm just laying on the couch, not watching anything, just sitting in silence because silence is peaceful to me. But sometimes silence can be scary because that's when your thoughts get to turn in and you just overthink. But as I'm getting older, I'm learning that silence is healing because my life is so chaotic that I'm always on the go. That for me, being able to sit down and do absolutely nothing, hell yeah, sign me up. Like, I think I saw a TikTok today and it spoke to me. Maybe it was a reel, I don't know, but it just was like, what does fun look like to you as an adult? And it was that Bruno Mars song where it's like, today I don't feel like doing anything. Du-du-du-du-du-du. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. Oh, I literally just love to do nothing. And I don't typically sing, so please don't clip that. But hope you enjoyed. But that's just like how I feel. Like as an adult, like I love doing nothing. It's great. Such a great time. But when you're that strong person for people, let me get back on topic because I feel like I kind of pivoted there. But when you're constantly being that strong, reliable friend, you often feel weak asking for your own help and thinking to yourself that other people have it worse. And you kind of dismiss your own issues and your own trauma. And that's not okay because your issues and your problems are just as important as someone else's. And you don't have to tell yourself, I'll deal with this later, because you're important. It matters. And I often see myself just smiling through that exhaustion and telling myself those things like, it'll get better. Someone has it worse than you. And, or like, I'll just deal with it later. And then I just forget about it. And then weeks later, I'm just like, oh shit, like I do remember that. And you feel all those emotions all over again. But like, as I've aged throughout life, I feel like I've taught myself to support everyone else, but not how to ask for my own support. Like, it's so easy to support other people, but when you need it for yourself, it's just like, it's like a scary thing. And sometimes you just, I don't know, I feel like there's like this sense of guilt. Like you feel guilty for resting. You feel guilty for saying no. You feel guilty for being unsupported. You feel guilty for feeling unavailable. You feel guilty for disappointing people. There's so much guilt that comes with being the strong friend because you're constantly having to be on for other people, that once you take a step back and you do things for yourself, it's fucking crazy because you're like, you feel bad, but then like you also know like you shouldn't feel bad. And it's like, I don't know how to truly disassociate the guiltiness with also feeling okay with taking care of yourself. But hey, sometimes the guilt of needing to help is a battle in its own. So, like, for me, when I'm thinking of this topic, I think about a lot of like other leaders, whether you're a coach, whether you're a mentor, a manager, a parent, any kind of leadership role. I feel like there's always a sense of feeling the need to help other people, and you get lost in the sauce. That's what they say. You get lost in the sauce because you are expected to carry out outcomes. You're expected to be responsible for other people's emotions during sticky situations. You lead while you're unsure on things, because I'm telling you right now, there's plenty of times when I'm at work and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, but I got to stay strong and I got to do what I need to do and act like I know what I'm doing. I think that's the biggest thing, is sometimes when in doubt, act it out. I'm gonna say that again. When in out, act it out, because sometimes if you don't know, you don't know, but you got to act like you know, especially if you're in like a leadership position, and you just got to do what you got to do. And I'm the type of person where I never want to like let other people down. So I'm not afraid to ask questions. Yes, like I will ask questions if I don't know something, but sometimes crisis hits and you just got to do what you got to do. Leadership isn't just a responsibility, it's an emotional weight. I'm going to say that again. Leadership isn't just a responsibility, it's an emotional weight. Because when you're in leadership positions, like there's certain decisions you make that you just carry home with you. And me working in educational based athletics, there's decisions I make and I'm just like, was that the right decision? Because I'm always trying to make sure I'm doing what's best for kids. And sometimes you're just like, was that the best decision? Could I have done things differently? But in sports, I've learned you have to be able to adapt on the fly and you got to kind of make quick decisions. And sometimes it's the right one and sometimes it's not. But you kind of just got to learn from those. And like when we take losses, even in life, like I internalize that a lot. Like, because I think like, why am I so fucked up? What did I do so wrong? And I feel like it's just like the end of the world, right? Because I'm so hard on myself and I hold myself to high expectations. And that's in everything that I do. You could go back to episode 1 of this podcast and I talk about the way I hold myself to very high standards. I'm pretty sure in that episode, I talked about being in college and getting a minus in a class, and it gave me a 3.9 GPA, and I was pissed off because I knew I could have done better. And you just like internalize that shit and it just fucking tears you apart. But I think the worst part of everything is like when you do have those wins and you do have that success, I don't know about y'all, but I downplay the shit out of that stuff. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm not the type of person to gloat. I don't want to be seen as arrogant or coming off as like cocky, because sometimes people can view it that way. But honestly, talking about your successes isn't always bad. And I feel like there's always pressure to stay composed and like just I don't know. And I don't know if the pressure comes from myself or other people, but I think most of it comes from myself because that's just who I am. That is who I am. And I'm trying not to take the emotional weight and keep it on. I think the biggest thing for me is I need to take some of that weight off and be okay with the way things are, because y'all, being strong is exhausting. It hurts. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of constantly like showing up for people and constantly pushing myself to the rug. And I'm trying not to cry right now because like damn, like this shit's hard, bro. Life is hard. Yeah. Oh shit. I don't know what just hit me, but like fuck. I'm exhausted. Mentally, emotionally. I'm tired. Oh shit. I'm so sorry, y'all. Whew. Anyways, I kind of needed that. But whew. All right. Oh, that's embarrassing. But no, it's not. I'm being authentic. I'm being me. And guys, I have tiny hands. Sorry. I just needed to distract myself. Whew. Let's reel it back in. All right. So the next topic I really wanted to discuss was setting boundaries, right? Learning how to set boundaries. Um, Setting boundaries aren't walls, y'all. They're guardrails. I'm going to say that again. Setting boundaries aren't walls, they're guardrails. Sometimes we have to put a guardrail up to protect ourselves and understand that it's okay to say no and not have to explain everything. Like, protect your energy. Avoid, like, avoid overwhelming yourself for other people. Like, schedule rest intentionally throughout your day and let other people let other people step up. I think one thing for me in my role is I feel as an athletic director, I have to always have control, and it's hard for me to let go. It's hard for me to give other people control because I feel like this is my ship. I want it to be the way it's supposed to be. But sometimes like you got to let it go and let other people take control, right? I still can't get over the fact that I just cried, y'all. Like, what? Oh, man. But anyways, again, setting boundaries aren't walls. They're just guardrails to protect yourself. And it's okay to have those guardrails. It's okay to have those boundaries because you don't owe everyone access to you, even if you love them. Again, you don't owe everyone to have access to you, because sometimes you just need to be with yourself. And sometimes not answering immediately is okay because you are important. You have your own shit that you're going through, and it's okay to take time for yourself. So I challenge you this week to just block some time out of your schedule where you have no obligations. Take time for yourself, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, just block time off to do nothing. I promise you, it'll be worth it. Delegate some things on your plate instead of absorbing it all. It's one thing I'm learning in life is how to delegate things to people, especially at work. I love my intern. He's a rock star. And I'm learning to trust more and just be like, okay, like, you got this. That's a professional goal I have, but also delegating my time wisely in my personal life, because work can be consuming, but I also need to delegate my time wisely to do things I enjoy, right? And the most important thing is allow silence. Sit in silence. Life is so busy all the time. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and take a break. Silence can be scary, but sometimes it's worth it. So if you're listening to this and you're realizing you've been strong for way too long, I hope you know that you don't have to carry it all. Being strong doesn't mean being invincible, and leadership doesn't mean loneliness. You are allowed to be human. Again, you are allowed to be human. And when everyone sees you as the strong one, it's okay to take that step back and take care of yourself. Give yourself grace. So I love you guys so much. I really hope this episode hit home. Again, I feel like it hit home for me because I cried. But if you're watching this right now on YouTube, I hope you stop right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that post notification bell on so you never miss an episode. And if this episode hit home for you today, or you just know someone out there who is always the strong one, send this to you. Send this to them. This can touch them in so many different ways. But my call to action for you this week is just to check on your strong friends for the week. Check on that strong friend. And don't just be like, how are you? Just be like, how are you? Truly. I want to know. You're always there for me. I want to be there for you. It goes a long way. So again, I love you guys so much. We'll be back at it next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And always remember, find your purpose, ignite your why, and I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.